Greetings, my champions, and welcome to Live with Chatufa. The ZANU-PF government continues to make Zimbabwe a laughingstock of the world. Each time that they do whatever move that they make, it always sounds so stupid, so half digested in terms of thought, and all the things that they continue to do is embarrassed Zimbabwe to the point that we are actually a laughingstock of the world. We are an example of what is called bad governance or bad administration in the whole world, and yet ZANU-PF does not care about that. Right now, because there are Olympic Games that are happening in France, in Paris, Zambians start to mock Zimbabwean government for sending a 67-member delegation to Paris for the Olympic Games. It is so ironic that a whole government that is killing sports in Zimbabwe, not supporting sports in Zimbabwe, putting a almost dead minister for the sports activities, is so good at jumping onto planes to fly with their wives in the name of supporting only 7 members that have managed to make it to the Olympics, as if it's a government that is really serious about sporting. It's very shameful that ZANU-PF would want to jump at every opportunity that is presented to them, that they want to use that opportunity as an opportunity to do their shopping or their honeymooning with their wives, or to go and get drunk, or just for them to be able to make some kind of travel and subsistence that they get because of all these travelings that they are doing all over the world. It's so sad that we definitely need a government that is much more serious than what we are seeing happening with our country. Our country is embarrassing the way that ZANU-PF is carrying itself, and we definitely need new leaders. We cannot continue with the kind of leadership that we are seeing in Zimbabwe right now. Very, very embarrassing. Father Maire on a Twitter, she also wrote that a country without a single soccer stadium will hire this private jet to fly a bloated delegation, which reportedly consists of 67 people, to the Olympics in Paris. The number of athletes participating is 7. The bloated delegation will receive thousands of US dollars in allowance, and they will live in plush hotels. It's a mess. Zimbabwe is not poor, it's poorly managed. Hashtag we need new leaders. Definitely we need new leaders. So this is the delegation that went to Paris with the General Chiwenga being the one who is leading the delegation. Very, very embarrassing. And we've seen the Zambians also mocking us, and quite a lot of them discussing on these issues with some points that have been written by Joseph Kalimbwe on his own Twitter account. I had to say, let me just share this with the members of the family. And he says, China has sent 337 athletes and 0 government officials to the Paris Olympics. But due to illegal sanctions from the West, our neighbors to the south have sent 7 athletes and 67 officials, including the country's vice president and his wife. Just imagine people that are crying about sanctions, yet they are wasteful. They waste a lot of resources, a lot of money for no reason. And this is why we are finding ourselves where we are today. And he also wrote and says, Fox book a private jet of $11,000 per hour to go loitering around the streets of Paris with their wives. Then tomorrow, Zambia must join other SADC countries in calling for the end of sanctions. These are self-inflicted problems. Our country must never be drawn into jokes. Just imagine, this is too powerful and very, very serious. Indeed, if the private jet would charge 11,000 US dollars per hour, and how many hours do they take from flying only? We are talking about flying from Zimbabwe until they get to Paris for 11,000 per hour. That is sad, very, very sad. How much money is just being blown by ZANU-PF, and they don't care. They don't care. As long as they are on power and on the seat of power, they can continue to do what they want. But at the end of the day, is it benefiting anyone? Not at all. These monies that they are squandering like this, over 7 people that have qualified to go for the Olympics, really, it's not justifiable. You can't justify this. This is just something else that is not out of this world. But these are the leaders that we have. And when we see Zimbabwe failing to rise, failing even to meet the required, levels in terms of development that are expected on, see, in a country that is rich in mineral resources like ours, it is all because of this. And we don't know why ZANU-PF would want to have all those people, but I should think that there is some kind of a competition that is happening between General Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. Because General Chiwenga, remember, he has got his own people, and his people, they also want to eat. They also want to make money from some of these allowances that they get as they are traveling. Because Mnangagwa travels with 300 plus. So what Mnangagwa is simply doing is he's just enriching his guys, all of them, and all that delegation of 300 that he moves around with. They will be getting allowances. They will get to have a good life. So he's just moving around with them so that they enjoy life, simple, and make money while they enjoy. So Chiwenga also has his own people. So if Chiwenga would travel alone, it will be a problem now because he's letting down his own people. They would also like complain to say, why are you not also doing the same for us? Because we are the people that support you, that are with you. So it's like it's a competition now of different factions. That one faction has to be, enriching its people, its supporters, and its cheerleaders. They have to make sure that they get money, as much money as they can, from the government coffers. And this is what we are seeing happening because of late also, Chiwenga has started to become a serious globetrotter. I think you have seen it as beginning from last year. We have seen Chiwenga traveling extensively like nobody's business. He barely is in Zimbabwe for a week, more than a week. He is already out to some place, and all these people will be just going around and following. Mnangagwa, on the other hand, will be also flying all over unnecessarily and squandering the little resources that are available, and our country continues to suffer. And these are the same issues that we have been pointing, and we continue to point why our nation is not prospering and is not getting better. So we need to continue putting pressure and fighting hard to say we are tired of these looters. These are people that are just good at looting. They don't care what is happening to our country. And it is upon us as Zimbabwean people to come together and resist what ZANU-PF is doing, because we can't go far. We can't go anywhere with this kind of irresponsible behavior that we are seeing from the people that are supposed to be leaders, who are supposed to be looking at budgeting, the use of public funds in very transparent and very thoughtful ways. But it's not happening with ZANU-PF. As long as they are in power, they tell themselves that they don't account to anyone. They can do what they want. They can use our money even in their own fights, in their factional fights. They use our money. And at the end of the day, the people that lose out are the Zimbabwean people, the masses of Zimbabwe, the economy of Zimbabwe, the people that are suffering, the hospitals, roads, electricity, water supplies, and all other social amenities that need to be given to our people will not be able to be available. And our country remains a backward country, a poor country, a country associated with pain and suffering, all because of such kind of irresponsible behavior that we are seeing from ZANU-PF. So this is what it is, family. Just updates that we are giving you on what is happening around the nation as well as all over the world, not forgetting our neighboring countries. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me on this show. I will be giving you yet another show, so don't go away. Always, as usual, we encourage those that have not yet subscribed to the channel, of course, to subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to be getting notifications each time that we post or we are live, something to do with that, so you don't remain behind. Otherwise, let's continue to fight. Freedom for the Zimbabwean people is what we are fighting for, and God is in it. Thank you so much, and remain blessed.